Hi there. Today I'm tasting a wine from a winery that I've mispronounced in the past. Evidently this is Ochota Barrels. I've heard it pronounced Ochota, but I saw a video recently where Taras Ochota, the late winemaker who set up the winery, was pronouncing this as Ochota. So my apologies for the mispronunciation there. This is a 2020 Pinot Meunier. Not everybody calls it Pinot Meunier anymore. It's now tending to be referred to as Meunier. This is bottle number 1164 from 288 that were produced, and I quite like the fact that they give a little bit of detail on the back label here where they say that this is a vineyard that's planted on heavy clay soils, so that would be quite vigorous soils generally, and the vineyard was planted in 1985, so relatively mature vines. The variety is not surprisingly quite akin to Pinot Noir. It's quite rare. This is grown in the Adelaide Hills in South Australia. You don't see a lot of it. The place you would normally see Pinot Meunier being cultivated is going into champagne and other sparkling wines, where it can make up quite a large proportion of champagnes from places like the Aube and the McLaren Vale, where its rot resistance is quite useful for producers there to enable them to make a reliable crop every year. Looking at the wine we've got here, this is it has an attractive colour. It's quite dark, quite a sort of a deep ruby red, but I mean there's not an opacity there. It's sort of darkly pigmented, I suppose is the best way of putting that. Giving it a swirl, there's not a huge, I suppose there are some legs running down the glass, and the aromas are a fascinating combination of earthiness and delicate lifted red fruit, sort of raspberry and strawberry soft fruit behind a more sort of earthy, maybe slightly mushroom note, and it's worth remembering or noting that Ochota Barrels their entire approach is minimal intervention, so they'll pick relatively early to make sure the wines still have good acidity and don't have too high alcohol, and that helps produce stability in the wine. They then tend to age in older oak, so you're not getting a clear oak influence, but you're getting a bit of an influence of controlled oxidation there. So let's taste this. That's a wine that's very much in line with what I've just said. Oh gosh, really lovely freshness. It's showing that early picking. There's a sharp acidity. It's not tart. It's not sort of like crab apples or that sort of harshness, but it is very much lifting the fruit there. The body is quite light-bodied. This says it's only 11.6% alcohol, which is really quite low for a Pinot Noir, so you'd normally expect it to be somewhere in the region of 13 to 14.5% alcohol. But what this is giving is a wine that's quite sort of, I suppose, linear in some ways. It's quite light-bodied, but very delicate, and the finish allows the perfume, because there's not alcohol on the finish, it allows the perfume of the fruit to come dancing out there, and you've got red soft fruit, sort of wild strawberries, that sort of thing, really sort of just dancing delicately on the finish there. The mid palate has more of a sort of a slightly earthy mushroom note. There is a little bit of tannin there, but it's not a wine that's hugely structured. It's not a hugely complex wine, but it's just got nice, pure flavours supported by a reasonable structure, but lovely lifting acidity. Yes, it leaves the mouth very fresh. So yes, that's, I should have said it's Mark of Cain Pinot Meunier. Evidently, it sounds quite philosophical, Mark of Cain. What does this mean? Evidently it was a punk rock band that Taras Ochota toured with at one stage, so it's a reference to his past as well. So anyway, thank you for watching. Bye now.